Welcome to the Aligned Systems for Visionary Entrepreneurs Masterclass. I'm your host, Aurea, and I'm really excited to share this session with you today. We're going to go ahead and look at how to approach your business systems in a way that actually fits you, your client, and the natural energy flow that creates sustainable growth. This isn't about another plug-and-play formula. We've seen plenty of those, right? It's really more about learning how to create alignment in your business that allows your operations to serve your work, not suffocate it. So let's dive in.
So let me start with a simple truth. There's a reason that some systems feel incredible for one person and completely exhausting for someone else. And most proven systems we see online don't actually take into account how differently people are wired energetically. And that's why so many brilliant entrepreneurs and even the support personnel and operations pros that support them can find themselves constantly chasing new strategies, but still feeling stuck. What we're going to unpack today is how to shift out of that trap and instead build systems that fit your natural way of operating. And this becomes even more important as you take on clients, build teams, and move from task level work into true leadership level operations. Now, like a lot of people, I spent years trying to do everything the right way, following the business blueprints, the funnels, launches, SOPs. But instead of clarity and momentum, I often felt overwhelmed, exhausted, and constantly second guessing what was missing. Eventually, I realized something deeper was going on and that I needed to understand not just the mechanics of business, but the energetics underneath those systems. And that's what led me to the work that I do now, which is helping visionaries and business owners create systems that are fully aligned with how they naturally operate and make decisions, so things don't feel so exhausting. Once I started learning how to align my systems to my energy, instead of forcing my energy into someone else's system, everything shifted. And it didn't happen overnight, but it was a powerful shift. I wasn't burning out. I wasn't constantly second guessing every choice. And I started seeing not just growth, but stability. And that's what I now help my clients do, and what I'm going to share a little with you about today, so that you can start applying it in your own work or inside of the clients' businesses that you work with, if that's what you're doing is supporting others. So here's where most people get stuck. Traditional business advice focuses on replicating someone else's system because it worked for them. But if that system isn't aligned with how you operate naturally or how your client operates, then it can quickly become rigid, unsustainable, or even self-sabotaging. And this is where we see burnout, revenue roller coasters, inconsistent delivery, and a lot of energy leaks. So, don't get me wrong, there is a time and a place for the right kind of template used in the right context. But the solution overall in your business isn't just about better templates. It's understanding your unique operational blueprint. The shift begins when you move from just copying systems to creating aligned systems that are rooted in clarity of your business model, permission to operate based on how your energy moves, and personalized structure that supports sustainable growth. This isn't about just doing less work. It's about doing the right work in the right way for you. And that's what creates businesses that not only grow, but feel good and aligned as you scale. So let's zoom out for a minute and let's see why this keeps happening. So for a lot of entrepreneurs, or even, support and operations professionals, business can get stuck in this burnout cycle. And it starts with inspiration, right? Then comes this rush of ideas. And it's exciting, but that turns into scattered action, trying to do too much at once, which of course leads to overwhelm. How am I going to do all of this? And then the crash. It's exhaustion or frustration when the results don't match the effort that you're putting in. And then finally, the recoil. You pull back into management mode, just trying to fix the systems, or you just abandon them altogether. And this loop can repeat endlessly until something changes at the root. Now, traditional business advice often fails because it ignores the deeper operational truth of how people actually work. It enforces discipline over alignment. It tells you to just push harder when something isn't working instead of questioning whether the system itself fits. And that creates unnecessary friction. It also ignores energy types. It kind of assumes that everyone has the same capacity and decision-making process. But if you're naturally wired to respond instead of initiate, or to work in sprints rather than steady output, those one-size-fits-all strategies fall flat. And they can damage your self-esteem because you're always beating yourself up, feeling like there's something wrong with you instead of just the system itself, right? And then the other issue is it really tries to force consistency over energy cycles. It glorifies showing up the same every day instead of planning around your natural cycles of energy, emotion, or creativity. And this often leads to burnout instead of real consistency. Over the years, I started noticing that most of the entrepreneurs and creatives I work with kept falling into a few recurring patterns, especially when things felt misaligned. And these 4 archetypes, they're not fixed labels, but they do reveal where someone's systems might be clashing with how they naturally operate. And what tends to happen is that we fall into the trap of trying to do things the way we think we're supposed to, instead of the way that is unique to how we are wired specifically, which of course leads to a lot more force and a lot less ROI. And often these patterns reflect deeper elements of your energetic design, which we explore more in my deeper work. But even without knowing your full blueprint, you might recognize one of these right away. Let me give you a real life example of what this can look like when it starts to shift. This is Afa. He's my partner. And when we first started looking at how he was approaching his work, he realized he'd been making decisions based on what he thought he was supposed to do. And a lot of it came from obligation, loyalty to others, or expectations he had internalized over time, like many of us do. But those choices were leaving him drained, and his own goals kept getting pushed aside. Once he gave himself permission to trust his gut and started making decisions that actually felt right for him, things started to change. He's seeing real momentum now in the things that really matter, and the process feels smoother, lighter, and more sustainable. And that's what this really is about. It's about creating systems that actually fit you, so you're not constantly working against yourself. Now, you can probably already feel the difference, right? Now, here's how we can break the cycle. Instead of constant overwhelm, you get clarity. You know what actually needs to be done. Instead of overwork, you build capacity. Your workload matches your energy and resources. Instead of emotional roller coasters, you feel steady momentum, consistent forward progress without burnout. Instead of business plateaus, you enter aligned growth, systems that can scale while staying sustainable. And this is the heart of what aligned systems create, both for you and your clients if you're supporting others. This is how you start building a business that grows with you instead of constantly pushing against you. So the first principle behind aligned systems is this. You need to honor your natural decision-making process. Every entrepreneur and every client you may work with makes decisions differently. Some people need time to feel things out. Some people get clarity in the moment. Some need to talk things through before they can act. And when your systems support your natural way of deciding, you avoid constant second guessing, backtracking, and wasted effort. It's not just about what decisions you make, it's about how you make them consistently. The second principle is about leveraging your natural strengths. So many people build businesses that fight against their own strengths, either trying to copy what works for someone else or trying to fix things they think they're bad at. But when you build your systems around what you're naturally great at and then support your weak points with structure or support, your business becomes easier to run and more enjoyable to grow. This applies to you personally and to your clients if you're helping them build out their back-end systems. So the goal is not to turn yourself into someone else. It's to build around how you already operate best. The third principle is creating sustainable energy exchange. In simple terms, your business model, your pricing, your offers, your delivery, all need to match your capacity. If you're over-delivering, undercharging, or constantly running at the edge of burnout, your systems can't hold. Aligned systems help you build offers and delivery models that feel sustainable long-term. And for many professionals, this is a big opportunity to help your clients structure their offers, processes, and delivery models, or your own, in a way that protect both revenue and capacity, because sustainable businesses are the ones that last. Now, let's bring it back to these 4 patterns I shared earlier. When we understand how someone tends to operate, we can build systems that help them. Now, in these examples, the trailblazer needs structure that supports focused execution without stifling creativity. The reformer needs permission to stop over-perfecting and trust good enough to launch. The whole done beats perfect idea, right? The seeker needs clear action paths to move from learning into action. The visionary needs strong operational partners and systems to turn big ideas into reality. Whether you're designing your own business or supporting a client, knowing which patterns are in play and the real root of these patterns helps you create systems that actually fit. This is where we start to get practical. I use something called an energy audit, and it gives you a clear view of where the friction lives. And this isn't about right or wrong. It's simply a snapshot to show you where things are out of sync inside your business. Are you making decisions in a way that actually works for you, or second guessing constantly? It offers clear, focused, and truly aligned with what you want to be known for. Are your offers clear, focused, and truly aligned with what you want to be known for? Are you managing your energy sustainably or running on fumes to keep up? Are your systems actually supporting you or just adding more noise? When you can see which of these areas is off, it gets a whole lot easier to know where to focus next. These are the 3 of the most common patterns that I see when someone's business systems are not aligned. Copy and paste systems. You're just following someone else's strategy, the launch plan, the funnel, the content calendar, but it doesn't feel right. You're doing all the things and still feeling stuck. Skip steps. You try to automate or delegate before your core process is clear. It looks good on paper, but it creates chaos behind the scenes. Energy leaks. You're forcing productivity, overriding your natural rhythm, or making decisions in ways that drain you. That leads to burnout, not growth. The fix isn't just better tools, it's realignment. Once you know where the friction is coming from, you can start building systems that actually fit and stop trying to force the ones that don't. Take a second and do a quick gut check with me, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is completely misaligned and 10 is fully aligned, how would you rate your confidence in following your natural decision-making process? How clear and aligned are your current offers with what you really want to be known for? How well are you managing your energy in a sustainable way? And how well are your current systems supporting your focus, delivery, and long-term goals? There are no right or wrong answers. It's just a moment to notice where there might be friction and where there's room to realign. So this is the exact path that I take clients through when we work together. We map your unique energy patterns. We audit your offers, operations, and delivery models. We adjust your systems to support your strengths. And we build long-term stability that protects both revenue and capacity. Whether you're leading your own business or supporting clients in operations, this kind of work becomes the anchor that allows everything else to grow without collapse. You heard a bit about Office Story earlier, but what stood out most to him after making this shift wasn't just how things started to move forward. It was how much more at peace he felt, like he could finally trust his own instincts instead of constantly second guessing or feeling obligated. He said he used to chase strategies he thought he was supposed to follow, only to spend 6 months pouring time, money, and energy into something misaligned, and then have to course correct. Now he's more grounded. He gives himself space to pause, feel his way forward, and stay connected to what actually works for him. It saves him time, money, and energy. And that one shift from forcing to aligning changed everything. One of my favorite things to remind clients is this: the systems come next, but the shift has already started, because just having a language for what's been happening inside your business or your client's business changes how you see the path forward. And that awareness is often the first domino that unlocks real growth. Now, if today's session sparks some light bulb moments for you and you want to explore how to apply this more deeply inside your own business or client work, I'd love to connect and continue the conversation. This is the core of the work I do inside my Summit Systems program, where I guide business owners through mapping, auditing, and optimizing their full operational foundation based on alignment. If you're curious to explore that work for yourself or as a partner for client projects, you're always welcome to reach out, or message me and ask questions. So I just like to thank you for your time today. It's been great chatting with you, and I look forward to hearing with you. Okay. I really look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome to the Aligned Systems for Visionary Entrepreneurs Masterclass. I'm your host, Wolf, and I'm really excited to share this session with you today. We're going to go ahead and look at how to approach your business systems in a way that actually fits you, your clients, and the natural energy flow that creates sustainable growth. This isn't about another plug-and-play formula. We've seen plenty of those, right? It's really more about learning how to create alignment in your business that allows your operations to serve your work, not suffocate it. So let's dive in.